Hey guys, this is Az here, and we are heading into the double elimination from the Bangor Netrunner Regionals held at the end of May. The legal data pack up to this point was Salsa Island, and we're going to be joining Jordan Saxby playing Quetzal on the left against Jared Pryor playing Engineering the Future on the right. You can have a quick look here at the top 8 as we go into the double elimination, and let's go and jump straight into the footage now as these guys match up. Now, this is an interesting game, and it's actually, I won't lie to you, going to be a bit of a struggle for Jared. He's going to have to pull out a lot of stops here. Funnily enough, Jared is actually running a really barrier heavy deck. He's running 11 barriers, 7 sentries. Not the best kind of ice suite to be running against Quetzal. I think Jared had a little bit of a laugh here, both players drawing the starting hands. Jordan kept his, but Jared, with his pieces of ice in hand being 2 paper walls, decided that they were not going to really suit what he needed to stop Quetzal getting in and doing some early accesses. On the flip side, another down point, Quetzal's also running E3 feedback filters, and Jared relying quite heavily on Biroids. So basically, he's got 18 ice in his deck. Outside of Biroids, he's got 2 paper walls, 2 walls of static, and 3 architects. Everything else is going to be able to be clicked through, which is probably going to give some real boons to that E3 feedback implant play. So, start a hand kit from Quetzal. Jared's going to mandatory draw, and let's see what he's got. Looks like a Chrysium grid in hand and a suite of ice with an Adonis as well. First click installs. So triple install, so 2 ice and a new remote for Jared. In case you don't recognise it, the actual ID that Jared's using is from a community event. We basically had an Irish Nationals in 2018 that was run by community rather than by FFG, and he's going to res his advanced assembly lines in the remote and pop it straight away to get the credit bonus and an install on Jordan's turn, which is going to net him an extra Engineering the Future credit. And it's a card I do really like in ETF. If you're playing a slightly faster variant of the deck and like a little bit of burst economy, and in this case if you're resing quite large ice early in the game, it can give you a few nice surprises. It looked like that was potentially a hedge fund, I think, on the top of the deck. Meanwhile, Jordan's going to grab some money, pop in his wild side, and E3 feedback. Okay. And it sounds like a big sigh as Jared says that's going to be annoying, and I think he realises just quite how difficult this is going to be for him. So install hedge fund, and it looks like no cards in hand now for Jared. So it must be that Chrysium grid thinking on it, sitting on HQ there. Oh, a forced activation order is going on to R&D is going to reveal a Vikram. Third, we're going to run on the remote. There's going to be no res, and there's going to be an Adonis revealed. Jordan does have 3 credits and decides he will indeed spend the 3 to kill that. Putting him down to 0 and then final click for 1. Aggressive Secretary is a very spicy little one-off card that's Jared running, and his first is a draw, second is an install, and third is advance with the credit he gains from Engineering the Future. Oh, not sure if he... Yes, he did. He gave himself the extra credit there. So a good start for Jordan as well. The board state for Jared has come along quite quickly. But in Jordan's sound, he has his wild side pretty early. He has E3 feedbacks early, which is really going to do work for him. And he's also getting a little bit of economy just to keep himself in the game. From Jared, we're going to see an NAPD scored out. They installed them, put himself to 2 points. Jordan probably not too annoyed by that, really. It's not the 2-point agenda HB really wants to be scoring. So first click wildside, Jordan looks like he might have a fort in hand, is that? Oh yeah, he's actually going to play the fort, and Vikram is going to get destroyed, doing absolutely nothing this game. That's very rough. And he's going to steal an agenda off the top as a global food for 2 points as well. Absolutely vicious. So force activation revealed the Vikram, then he was able to fort it with a click and an E3 feedbacks, get an agenda off the top, and the second card he sees in the Adonis and doesn't have 3 credits to trash it. Yeah, so that was a very strong turn for Jordan, evening this game up. Jackson Hart is going to hit the table. It looks like we've got an aggressive secretary, 2 Adonises, and something else in Jared's hand. Cyberx virus suite. He's just trying to, I think he's maybe having a quick thought about, does he want to risk putting down another Adonis unprotected? Realising just quite how aggressive Jordan was willing to be there to trash his previous Adonis, getting the income to res all these big ice, these Heimdall 1 and 2.0s alongside the Vikrams. Top card is a Heimdall. And just a wee Cyberdex in the bin. Don't believe actually that Ketzel is running any real virus threats. There is, I believe there's a medium, and there is actually, tell a lie, there is actually a couple of hemorrhages. So first click we see an install. Sorry about the camera shake there, guys. Second is an install, and third is an install. Okay. Is that the two Adonises that hit the table, or is Jared actually trying to be a little bit sneaky? Did he drop his Vitruvius down? Oh wow, looks like he still has an Adonis in hand, so one of those may actually be Vitruvius. Jordan's going to keep on checking R&D, which seems legit. Top card is an Ash. He's got 3 credits, but oh, it put himself to 0 to trash that right now. Career Fair just a chronotype is strongly going to help his play. I think Jared, if he is sneaking out Vitruvius here, he might have timed this really well just while Jordan was tight on economy and probably unwilling to go and check more assets this round. Jordan is having a quick think though. Nope, decides just to take a credit. Advanced Assembly Lines is going to be popped at the end of Jordan's turn, so again we're going to be taking advantage of that benefit of the Engineer in the Future install credit on the runner's turn. And oh wow, okay, so it was one Adonis in Advanced Assembly Lines, but now both Adonises are on the table, and they're both going to kick in immediately at the start of the corpse turn, which is fantastic. And Jordan sitting on 4 credits is not in the best of positions to be dealing with these. So Mandatory Draw is going to bring the Ash into hand. Click 1 Jackson is going to bring a Jackson and what looks like an NAPD. Jared does have 2 Agendas in hand now. Not sure what the ice is over HQ. If it is a barrier, he's going to be in a pretty tricky situation. And even if it's not, a click and a credit from E3 feedbacks is probably going to get the most ice he has, unless it's an Architect or a Wallace Static. Wallace Static, though, really pretty much a dead card in this matchup. So got to imagine Jared's maybe tidied up his hand a little bit here. Looks like he actually ended up getting rid of 2 cards. Oh, so Jordan deciding not to go with the asset counterplay, and looks like he might be starting to pressure R&D. Here he goes for the medium. That looked like a medium, and then I click for a credit, and he's going to see 1 off the top. And it's a Jackson. So yeah, Jordan been a little bit unlucky with his money now, so he's got his draw engine on board, but he hasn't been able to keep a stable economy as of yet. He does have a couple of liberated accounts, sure gambles, a couple of day jobs, and a couple of dirty laundry. It's not a huge amount of economy. So those 2 Adonises now just taking over and doing awesome work for Jared, and he's now going to start looking to build up a server. Was that the aggressive secretary he popped in there? Or it could have been the Vitruvius actually. I think it looks like it's probably the Vitruvius in the Ash. I think the aggressive secretary's maybe gone into the bin. Meanwhile, R&D is getting pillaged just slightly. And this imp, if Jordan does decide to keep pressuring R&D, is absolutely going to be brutal. What is this ice in front of R&D that Jared's been refusing to res it so much? So he's going to get in again. See a Wallace Static, which is fine. That looks like an Architect, which is going to get imped. And didn't quite catch what that one was. So this is the Vitruvius in the remote server for Jared. It's a tricky situation. You obviously want to score this and get this out, but if he leaves his R&D sitting much longer, these digs are going to start doing some serious damage. So those Adonises have just done work. I think that was a fantastic play by Jared, putting down the advanced assembly lines and Adonis together and then getting them both taken over. Jared making a little noise at Jordan Wallace static as Jordan acknowledges how useful that piece of ice is in this matchup. That being said, if you chuck it in front of another barrier, it might not be that bad. Jared does decide to purge, which I think is a real legitimate play here. He's struggling really for a decent piece of ice to stick it with his R&D. He finally decides he's going to res the Heimdall. But realistically, he's paid 8 credits there. Ketzel's ability is going to fire for one of the subs, and then 2 credits is just going to allow Jordan strip again. An absolutely desperate economy switch there. If Jared can keep it protected though, if it doesn't get knifed and doesn't get killed and wiped off the board quite quickly, he can definitely start to earn those credits back over time. Immolation Script hits the bin, and that's a really interesting card here, considering Jared is running quite so much ice. As soon as 1 or 2 hit the bin, you can then start to immolation quite freely. So first click installs ice over R&D. Second click's going to be enhanced login protocol. Start taxing some clicks of Jordan. If we can't tax the credits, we're going to tax the clicks, which I like. And still looking at this second remote here, just wondering what that is. I still would have thought it was an Ash and a Vitruvius, but I'm not quite sure. Faust also going to work really nicely together with E3 feedbacks, allowing Jordan to spend both cards and credits. On the remote, Heimdall 2.0 is going to get popped, and I don't know if Jordan has the ability to get through this right now. Yeah, so it looks like Jordan's just thinking about how he's going to deal with this, and it looks like he's having to use Ketzel's ability to break the brain damage in the run, but he's still going to take a brain damage. And hits a fort, which is not a bad hit. And Ketzel's going to be living with 4 maximum hand size.
Did you spend 2 clicks to run? I didn't, sorry.
Oh, Jared just reminding actually there was a second click to be spent there, which was even more important actually, given the fact that Jordan may have potentially had an extra click to deal with the ice.
Last click. You've only on 3 credits, so it's dangerous. Last click.
So Jared's deck doing a really good job of doing what it needs to do, taxing credits, taxing clicks out of Jordan as well. And despite Jordan having really an ideal way to deal with Jared's suite, he's still struggling, and I think it's the economy that's doing the most damage to Jordan.
What order would you like to access in?
What's that?
What order would you like to access in the upgrade?
I'll access the card first.
So Jordan's running XQ for his last click. He's going to access the card in XQ first, and he's going to see an NAPD, which he cannot afford to steal or imp.
I'll look at the upgrade as well. I'm assuming it's not what I thought it was. Cool.
And Jordan a little bit surprised about the Crisium grid. I think he was potentially imagining or envisioning a CyberX Virus Suite instead. Mandatory draw for Jared's going to bring another agenda into his hand, and he is now only on 3 credits, which he's going to use to advance this agenda. It was a Vitruvius that he has sitting there for a while, and it's just got to the point that remote is no longer definitely safe and going to put himself to 4. So the thing is here for Jared, he let 2 full Adonises take over, and he's now broke, which is a really tough position. Meanwhile, Jordan has Faust, has the draw, and probably doesn't need more credits than really a small amount to deal with trashing and stealing NAPD. So he's gone ahead and got himself a Dirty Laundry, which he's clicked and gets credits up of it. Cyberdex is going to purge the 1 medium counter that was there. And what a tight game here. This board state's really interesting, and there's so many different ways that Jordan can deal with the ice. It's just a matter of getting them all to a position where you can do a couple of consistent runs. And I think that's actually proven to be quite difficult.
Install, gives a credit, click for 2 more.
Jared's going to install for click 1 and then just take 2 credits. Pass the turn back. Pretty ballsy turn there, considering the fact that David was just popped down and Jordan could definitely get into that remote. That being said, there's an Ash there, which would probably financially save it.
No worries.
Okay, Ketzel, I think I'll chuck a David counter.
So Ketzel, a David counter, and an E3 feedbacks credit will allow Jordan to get in and see another global food off the top of a single access one, and that's going to get rid of the enhanced login protocol.
What am I doing? Why I forgot? It's medium counter. Okay, I can again. I've already used Ketzel. Oh wait, I have a handful. Click 3 again.
Yeah, that's fine. No worries.
And he's running back in, going to see 2 cards this time.
Token.
I'm going to use 2 Davids and a credit, and he's going to see, I'm not quite sure what that is, but like maybe a reclamation order, and then an architect. Oh, it could be an advanced assembly lines and an architect maybe. So 4 to 4. Yeah, what a tense game. Both sides of this board running very low on credits.
Oh no, you wipe your virus counters like hemorrhages.
So man,
Useful against enemies.
It was green level.
Thyroids.
install, gives you a credit, click for 2 more, so total of 3.
So Jared again installs, clicks for 2 credits,
Whilst I draw
builds up that remote a little stage further. Probably this is the opportunity to score. He's got a window here where the David counters have gone. If that is an Ash in there, Jordan's not going to be able to beat the trace.
click for credit. Two, I will. I'm not going to break the cycle of poverty either.
Ketzel's not an ID I'm really familiar with at all myself. It's not one that I ever feel truly comfortable with. But on the day, Jordan, to meet him on the day was absolutely fantastic. It was really nice to have him over. Very friendly, very, very just awesome guy to sit and chat to. He's going to be breaking into R&D again. Looks like Architect.
Next one, please.
And 2 other cards we're not going to quite get to see. So Jordan being really good at getting single accesses. When it comes to multi-access, he's not been quite as lucky. But when I saw he was playing Ketzel, I was incredibly surprised. I got a little bit excited, I must say. He's going to be running HQ. Sees a Jackson, which he can't deal with. So yeah, he's seen the Jacksons a couple of times. He's seen an NAPD, and he's been in this position where he hasn't had the money to steal them. And did Jared install an agenda in that remote? I gotta feel like that's a Vitruvius or a beta test sitting in.
First click,
No, but he's going to green level.
in a card.
Looks like he might potentially be looking to shore up R&D further, and he does indeed.
Cost me a credit. Third click, take credit.
And third click's just take a credit.
Okay, once I draw me 2. Credit.
Meanwhile, Jordan is also having to click for credits.
Career fair out of liberated.
Oh, and here we go. Career Fair Liberated account is something he's been dying to see. So credit, Career Fair out the Liberated, and then last click is take 4 from there. And it looked just like a purge and passed the turn back from Jared. I think he just basically trashed a card and purged and then handed the turn straight back again. So with this liberated money and a sure gamble now, Jordan is in a far, far happier position. DDoS is interesting as well. Not running anything you'd usually expect with DDoS in terms of count siphons or apocalypses or even keyholes, but is running quite interesting actually. A couple of forged activation orders, one of which we've already seen, and also a Utopia shard. Oh wow, Jared now advances the agenda 3 times and does indeed score Vitruvius, going to 6 to 4. So financially he's on 5 credits. Right now, he's only 2 credits off being able to biotic out. Just want to see if he is actually running out. No, he's not actually running any biotic labours. He's got 7 operations all in all. between hedge funds, green levels, and enhanced logging protocols. So he's got no fast advance at all available to him.
Click 1 over at David.
We get a fresh David for Jordan.
2 on run R&D.
And we go check R&D. So unfortunately for Jared, he's really not being able to get a lot of ice rest here. He really hasn't seen any way to sort of consistently keep Jordan out.
Right, I'm going to pitch 1 to obstruct and then 2 to break. So, Grimoire.
So Faust is going to do... Whoa, Grimoire, Liberated Day Job. Wow, so Jordan giving up a lot of economy from his hand here to get through that Architect. And he's going to see just a single card, which is a Vitruvius. Oh my word. Every time Jordan has seen a single card off the top of R&D, I think it's been an agenda. Absolutely crazy. We are tied up 6-6. Jordan on 8 credits, Jared on just 1. With what I assume is an Ash, maybe a second Ash as well in that remote server. Quizzium over HQ. And this Jackson's been sitting there all game just chilling like a villain.
Cards in hand?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So while we are all tied up, Nick's agenda is going to win it.
Last click, draw a card.
Last click, Jordan just takes a card.
First click install gives me credit, click for 2 more.
And Jared again installs and takes 2 credits. Wowee, so do you run that now? Or do you rely on your medium to come off and try and get something from R&D? Yeah, first click, Jordan's going to head back in. Pitching Chronotype, Wild Side.
Do I want to let you install something? No, I don't. I'm going to pitch something out. I'm going to credit through.
Yeah, so 2 cards to boost and break, and then using the EV feedback then to break the second. On the other side of the table, Jared is going to pop Jackson and maybe talk back some economy or some cards that can't be trashed. So Hedge Fund Architect and green level. So cards that essentially are going to not allow Jordan to get through his deck any more quickly than he really can. And Jared checking the top card of R&D slightly naughtily there.
I'm going to get to see 2 of them.
So you haven't reached here yet, yeah?
I'm still just passing here. I'm here currently.
So just confirming if Jared does want to res the second piece of ice. I'm not sure what that was actually.
Static.
E3 and Pyro Ice.
I think the guy's having a little bit of a joke about just how punishing E3 feedback implants is when you come up against Byroids. A really tough first round top 8 match for Jared.
David.
So David credit is going to get rid of the Heimdall, and we're going to see 2 cards.
I'll spend 4 credits from the game.
And the first, oh my goodness, it's an NAPD Jordan with just an amazing R&D top deck, and in the remote was a Jackson Hara, not even an agenda. So very well done to Jordan there. Very tough game, but well fought by Jared to get to 6 points. Well guys, if you want to go and see the last game of the Swiss plus a little bonus vlog from myself, you can click on the link on the left hand side, or if you want to follow along, we're going to go into the upper bracket top 4 on the right. Thanks so much for watching.